Daily news, breaking news, everyday news on Prince Miller Entertainment TV. Today is 11th of March 2023. So guys, the migration of Zimbabweans to South Africa in search of a better life is the fault of the regime change agenda pushed by the US and the UK to see Zanu PF out of power. This is according to ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula, who called out the US and UK to remove the sanctions against Zimbabwe. Speaking at the ANC Youth League fundraising event in Bryanston, Johannesburg this week, Mbalula said the dire economic situation in Zimbabwe is affecting South Africa in a negative way. The US and the UK, Mbalula said, have been changing goalposts every time an opportunity presents itself for the two global powerhouses to drop sanctions against Zimbabwe. Such an opportunity added came to being with incumbent President Emmerson Mnangagwa propelled Robert Mugabe through a bloodless coup. President Mugabe was characterized as the main problem and was removed through a coup d'etat in Zimbabwe. Mbalula said Mnangagwa came in and stood the British and the Americans are looking the other way and not coming to the party. What the Americans and British want in Zimbabwe is regime change. We are now faced with Zimbabweans crossing to South Africa because in Zimbabwe there is no bread. Zimbabwe is now living in South Africa. They are working here as domestic workers while being well educated because Mugabe educated his people. Lift the sanctions in Zimbabwe, then we will not have a problem of Zimbabweans coming to our country. The British and Americans still insist on regime change because they do not care. In Mbalula's views, the economic wheels came off when its deceased former president embarked on land grabs in retaliation of the UK trekking on the Lancaster Agreement to fund land reform in the country. The move, said Mbalula, created the biggest pretext to attack Zimbabwe by the British and American governments to advance their regime change agenda. He further said he is not worried about the potential of a diplomatic row between South Africa and the US and UK, noting that all he is saying is to promote the country's sovereignty independence, which he stressed that it is a foreign concept to the UK and the US. The fundamental issue we are raising is a political matter that faces us at an ideological level, which we differ with American governments in terms of their approach to Zimbabwe. We do not subscribe to that, and that does not risk a diplomatic fallout. To say we do not agree with another government's approach in terms of regime change, which impoverishes countries and undermines the sovereignty of nation states, and the practical example of what that is Zimbabwe. We've stated that over and over again, and if it means we must take to the streets, we will do that to show our solidarity with the people of Zimbabwe on the issue of sanctions. Mbalula said the US policy of regime change, which has brought Iraq, Cuba and Libya to their knees, must be called out for what it is because it has not worked everywhere. They tried their luck. So guys, that's the latest here. And so at the top in the comment section, this is a daily news, breaking news, everyday news. It's ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula is the man talking about the Americans and the British, saying, you know what, they are looking the other way when it comes to Zimbabwe. Is they need to remove those sanctions against Zimbabwe because with those sanctions charamba chingona Zimbabweans akawanda achia ku South Africa to look for work as domestic workers, as petrol attendants, but these people are educated, one my degree, but they're coming here to do minor jobs. At the end of the day, our local people, South Africans, mabasa because of Zimbabweans who are coming to South Africa. So it's a problem to us. So we need to solve the cause of the problem, which is sanctions in Zimbabwe. So Americans and British, they need to remove sanctions against Zimbabwe. That's why I said yesterday on Daily News special episode number 123 that when it comes to the sanctions, some people, they are saying that sanctions are affecting ordinary Zimbabweans. Then we have other people who are saying that sanctions, they are only targeted sanctions, is only few individuals and few entities as ndo vari under sanctions. Vanhu ava havakwanisi kuenda kuamerica, havakwanisi kuita business with a company iri kuamerica or to be associated with any financial institution in the US. Kana nemaproperties ari kwamwe acho akatotora kudhara. Saka ndo masanctions acho anenge achitaura nevamwe vachiti aiwa, we as Zimbabweans are not under sanctions. It's only that few individuals, my banks, my companies, and few politicians develop my sanctions. Otherwise, Zimbabwe can do business with America. But anyway, it is what it is. Get it in the comment section, guys. Remember to like, share, comment, and follow, and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our new uploads that we do upload here. Bless up.